now next to Mzalala News, I say it's time to get into our discussion tonight. And like I mentioned, we have Pastor Sue, as always, lovely. She's looking dashing tonight. I think Lana Pelekwa out na Pastor Munene Lazima Lana Pelekwa out. And of course, Alex Mwakideu, the great radio presenter and so much more. They're already here in studio. Let's get it started. All right. So like I mentioned tonight, of course, we have Say What? And we've been discussing so many things since we started the show, and we've had very successful, topics which have really helped so many people, across the country, and even the diaspora have been seeing your comments, so we really appreciate it. Remember that you can actually interact with us. There's a number here, I'm sure. You can WhatsApp us, you can, call us in. You can even send us a short video as long as you quit 30 seconds. Easy claim to fame. Just make sure it's 30 seconds. Also just expressing your views. So there's so many ways to interact with us tonight. Make sure you take advantage of that. Okay, so of course, let me introduce my lovely people. And Alex.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? Are you psyching yourself up na makofi? Niliona kwa mtandao last week ukisema the way the show ilikuwa imeshika.
Ilikuwa imeshika last week wewe. A lot of feedback.
I know the feedback was crazy. It's good to see you here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Uko poa?
Invite me. Niko fiti?
Yeah.
Nashukuru.
And of course we have Pastor Sue. Pastor Sue, you look so good. My goodness. Hebu simama tukuone vizuri. Hey.
Wow.
Look at that. All right,
I'm so happy to be with Alex.
Yes, all the time.
Oh yes, it's gonna be awesome.
I hope today unapelekwa out. It's a Saturday night.
It's a Saturday night. I think Pastor Monene needs to think about where to take me.
He needs to take you somewhere today, for a late dinner. I'm happy to have you guys tonight.
Yes.
So tonight we're having this I think actually Alex Uli proposed, right?
Yes.
Of course we're talking about parenting, and we're talking about absent parents.
Yes.
Sometimes they can be absent, sometimes deadbeat, Yes. So before we start, of course, our discussion, let's just get to hear what Kenyans on the street had to say about our topic tonight.
Mimi nilipotezanga mzae nikiwa 10 years hapo. Ukienda chuo kuna mtoto anakuwa na low self esteem, yani kukuwa abandoned, alafu depression, vitu kama hizo jo.
Iko na physical na bado emotional effects. Mimi niko lucky, niko na both parents, sijaweza ku-experience kitu ya hiyo, lakini kwa mwenye amepoteza physically inaweza damage, ata feel neglected kwa society, low self esteem.
I would feel sad. Pia bado singekuwa wamenisaidia a lot of things. Seme clothing, nini. Pesa pale wame add up some.
Tuangalie perspective ya kijana. Ka physically, ka kijana nafaa kupass through rite of passage ka initiation. Unajua hiyo ka hizo zinahitaji the presence of a father. Ka hiyo kana father figure kwa life yake, haita go fit.
All right, there's some sentiments, of course, especially from young people, just talking about, their parents being there or not. Pastor, so let me start with you. Yes. When you first got your first baby, when you realized you're pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
Tell me about that, either excitement, fear of just, first of all, being a parent, and what it meant to you.
Wow, I think we were so excited because we had stayed quite a couple of years with Pastor Monene expecting for a baby, and the baby was not
forthcoming. And they came after marriage?
And they came after marriage,
okay.
of course. Yeah, and my firstborn son, it was such an excitement when I got Wisdom. He's called Wisdom, he's a son.
Yes.
And we were so excited to get a child who looks like Pastor Monene. I think for me, I was so excited. And the father was also very excited because we never thought, you know, a child who looks like us.
Yes.
And he was telling me there's no other child who has my nose in this world apart from this child.
From this
so
one.
we were so excited.
Yes.
And so he came in, and then we loved him so much. He knows that he's really loved.
Yes.
Because we have always been there for him. But I feel for those children whom their mothers were not there. Probably the mother died when they were giving birth, because I remember that time there are some women who actually died. That time when I was actually giving birth.
Or like when you're in maternity?
Yes, in the hospital.
Oh, really?
We were the same laboring, and then some went to theater, never came back. And so for me, it was such being the first time to go in labor and also deliver.
Yes.
It's more theory. It's more theory when you have not done, when you have not gone through childhood bearing.
Yes.
But now when you go through it, it gives you such an attachment. Because I remember that night I never slept. I kept looking at this baby who kept on kicking me, you know. Yeah, and we kept on praying for him, wishing that we would see him, a normal child. And God was so faithful that he gave us this baby boy. And he came in, and the boy was so vibrant. I think one of the greatest challenge I had with my firstborn is that he was so bright. I never prepared to handle such a child.
Right.
And so it really confused me so much. And I want to thank God for my mother-in-law, who is the mother to Pastor, who kept on telling me, such children, you give them space to be.
Okay.
Because he looked like he could do everything, and he was too small. My son started talking when he was about 9 months.
What?
Talking through, and I would wonder, is this a normal child? You know? And so it was so amazing. And I think that is the happiness of every mother, to see that you have gotten a child, and this child is normal, is moving on through the normal milestone. It's so exciting. But sometimes you find there are mothers who also go through a lot during pregnancy, such that they didn't have a good relationship with the father. They were mistreated by the in-laws. They had challenges in there. Maybe they had a medical condition, maybe like a condition that the BP goes up. We have a condition called eclampsia, this diabetes. Different mothers go through different things. So if you're there and you carried your pregnancy to term and you had no challenge, it's good to thank God.
Oh, absolutely. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Alex, you're a dad, and I'm happy that we have he's a dad of 3 beautiful girls.
Wonderful.
Unless kuna mwingine anakuja na hatujui.
Umemaliza.
Mbona umekataa haraka hivyo?
Sababu yangu imeisha. Hii serikali na uchumi.
Uwezi ongeza mwingine.
Siwezi ongeza mwingine.
Wametosha.
Hao watatu mwingine yoyote. Ni hao.
Wow. Na hakuna wengine huko nje.
Hakuna mwingine yote. Hakuna mtu huwa anasema siku zote kama uko njoo. Njoo sahi Cape Media hapa. Ndio mimi huyu hapa.
Wow.
No one out
ni watatu peke yao.
Yes.
Niambie Alex, like how special is it to be a dad, and what do you do to make sure that you're really part of their lives, even with your busy schedules? Unamkanga wewe sawa tukana kwa nyumba maybe I think 3 o'clock, 3 a.m.
Yes.
That means you'll not see them going to school, probably miss part of their day. But how first of all special do you feel having these girls, and unafanya nini so you're sure that you can actually present in their lives?
Well, it's so special because it's special actually from day one, from conception, where me and my wife, and I told myself, even before I got married, that I'm never going to get a child mwenye sijajiandaa kumpata. First of all, number one, I'm never, it's not going to happen.
Lazima ujiandae.
From day one, you must know that we are getting a child.
Yes.
And I must know that we are getting a child.
Wow.
Hakuna tatipap, baby, guess what?
Baby.
Guess what, baby? Ni kama nimekosa, umekosa nini wewe? Hakuna kitu nakosa hapa. So for us guys, from baby number 1, Zemi, we organized. We said, baby, I think we are ready to get a child now. Are you ready? Yes. Am I ready? Yes. Let's do it. All right?
That's good. Yeah?
Yes, yes. So that baby number
maisha alafu woi.
Yes. Yes. Hakuna cha woi. Number 2, hakuna woi. You see, so number 1.
Was it like that for all the girls?
All the girls. Number 1, number 2, and number 2 planned kabisa.
Okay.
So we've never had any woi moment in our lives. I didn't want any woi moment.
Okay.
And I told my wife that, and she agreed. So me, I appreciate that so much because kuanzia day 1, ball ikikuja, unajua unaona imekuja. We thank God ndio hii. So 4 months, 6 months, I'm celebrating because I was ready from the beginning.
Right.
You know, I'm planning everything, hospital, hizo masipitali kwenda kuona daktari before, nini, pre and post.
Yes.
everything. So by the time I'm getting my child, I'm ready. I'm ready psychologically, emotionally. I want to bring this child into this world, and I want to take care of this child throughout my life. Are you getting
it? Why was it so important for you? Because you really stressed about the readiness. Why was it that important to you to do that?
It is very important because when I'm not ready, I might not give my best to the child. Are you getting?
Yes.
When I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And it can go to oops, I'll be like, I wasn't, not now. Yes, are you getting? Si saizi, kuna kitu nilikuwa nafanya maze. Kuna nyumba najenga kule. Sasa unaniregesha nyuma kidogo. Kuna kazi nafuatilizia, kuna biashara nataka kufanya fulani. Haikuwa saizi. I wanted to do it after 2 years. You know, I wanted to do one thing first. So then now I have to, you get?
Yes.
So for me, we had to make up our minds together.
All right.
And this is why I say this is a very important topic. You know why? Because Betty, siku hizi watu wana oops mingi sana.
Daily.
So, oops zinafanyika kila siku and then yule mtoi akikuja mama na baba wote wanamchukua na mpeleka kwa oshago kwa nini? Kwa grandparents.
For grandparents.
So a lot of kids are being raised by the grandparents. They're being raised by grandparents.
Yes.
Why are grandparents raising kids? I'm telling my wife today, hao watoto wangu watatu wasichana wakigrow up, nitawaambia tu, wakifika ile level nitawaambia.
Yes.
If you are going out there to get a child, if you ever get a child, just know that you're going to start your own family.
Yeah?
I'm not raising any child. I'm not raising any grandson or grandmother hapa. Hapa grandson, granddaughter hapa. Mimi si raise.
Ukishika mimba.
Uko ready. Hata kama utamraise kwa street. Hata kama utamraise wapi mimi sijali.
But so what do you think about that?
Mimi sijali by the way. Ukishika mimba, ukuwe tayari kuwa mama na uwe na familia yako, mwanze familia. And this is my message. I've told my wife that. Wakigrow akifika hiyo level nitawaambia tu. So because you cannot be saying at mimi, my plan is get pregnant, get a child and take my child to my mom.
Yes.
Hello?
Unawapatia pressure. They're supposed to be resting.
Resting and chilling and having a good time. You're just getting kids. There are parents who are raising like 2 kids from the same daughter. Amepata mimba ya kwanza amepeleka mtoto. Ya pili amepeleka mtoto.
With even different dads sometimes. With different fathers sometimes.
Yes.
Yes. Pastor Sue, what do you think about what he's saying about being ready?
I think, I think I want to respect Alex so much. For being the man that he is, because I wish we can have men who are able to plan for their children, and that can only happen by you not having sex before marriage.
Yes.
Because now you find our sons and daughters who are in college, in secondary school, those who have finished college, they're having sex right, left, center. And that's where now you find women getting pregnant out of wedlock, and you find now because you are not prepared, this child has to be taken to the grandma and grandpa to take care of that, which is wrong. Because when you were born, probably you are not taken to your grandmother. You're getting like that. For me, when my mom, bore me, she never took me to my grandmother to bring me up. And so I think I love his mindset. And I wish all men can take this, because you need to talk to your daughter early enough and tell them the consequences and disadvantages of getting children before you are prepared. And this comes now that they should not engage in sex when they are children. Children are people below 12 years. They should not have sex if they are teenagers. That is from 13 years to 19 years. You know that sex is for adults. When you are now ready to get married and get children, that's the appropriate time. You're going to bring up that child emotionally, spiritually, physically fit. And I think this issue of getting children at 13, at 14 is a sign that we, the parents, have failed to direct our children in the way they should go. Because a child needs to be directed by the mother and the father. So I love the way that mindset. And talking to your daughter, and not to your son, because your son may not carry the pregnancy, but probably is impregnating other girls there. So it is important for us to have that candid talk with our children and ask them, if you got a child right now, are you ready to take care of that boy and that girl? But not to take children to shags and also to children's home. No, that is wrong.
I have a lot of people calling during the show, during the day, during the week, and they call and they tell, unajua mimi nilikuwa nimepata board, niko na mtoto, hajawahi kunipigia simu, haja nini, so I took my child home, nini, and I'm like, really? When you are doing this thing, wakati ulikuwa unafanya, ulikuwa una expect nini? Tablet? You know, wakati wa kublaha za klama imefanyika, mnasoma katiba na hamtumia apparatus. Una expect nini? Laptop.
Tupeleke pole pole.
What will come out? Mkate.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's a baby.
It's a baby that is coming.
Yeah.
You mnasoma katiba bila miwani, munatarajia nini? What will come out? Hakuna njia yoyote mnatumia ya kupanga uzazi. You know, that's why we're saying, kama mnataka kusoma katiba, then you don't want a child, you know what to do.
Yes.
If you don't want a child, you know what to do. If you did not do it, then you are ready to get a child. It is that simple.
Yes.
You are ready to have a child.
So that means, Alice, first of all, Makosi and Nzianga, maybe from the parents, not educating their children about don't do it.
Yes.
And if everybody else seems like they're having babies all over the place, you have to sit your child down and tell them. Yes.
In fact, I want to back what Alex is saying. It is the responsibility of every parent to take personal responsibility. Ulee mtoto wako. You get the point?
Yes.
Afadhali mtoto apotee. Apotee kwa sababu ya wrong company, but not that child getting destroyed because they never got counsel right from their mother and their father. Yes. And that's why it's very important, if it's possible, to bring up a child, a father and a mother, because there is what the father brings to the children emotionally, physically, spiritually, and there is what the mother does to the children as well. And so this idea of bringing up children who are just not taught, not guided, that's why we have a lot of all this messy society. Remember, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up a child. Who is training up? The father, the mother. Train up a child, not train up an adult.
Yes.
You must train a child. You get that? And training comes by them observing what you are doing. You know, it means there's something you are doing and then they are mimicking or they are imitating what you are doing. So you find most of us are not there for our children. And so children will copy anybody because they can't just have a blank mind. They must copy someone who is near them. And so I love the way he's saying, you must be there to talk to them. Like for me, I sat down with my children when they were quite young, 4 years. I introduced them sex.
4 years?
Oh yes, when they were 4 years. It's very easy.
4 years?
Why? Yes, and I'm going to say that because of why. There's this psychologist called Sigmund Freud. This man says there are 5 stages in a child. And one of the stages is the oral sex. The oral stage, sorry. The oral stage, sorry. The oral stage. The oral stage is where a baby, a small baby, who is from 0 day to 18 months, 1 year and a half, this baby gets pleasure from sucking, from the tongue, and from the lips.
Okay.
I think that's why I'm confusing it with the other oral. Because it is oral stage. Oral means the mouth. Oral means the mouth. And so a child during 1 day to 1 year and a half, they get pleasure from the mouth, which is now the oral. That is the lips, the tongue, and suckling. That's when the mother suckles the child so much. In this stage, if a child never suckled, those are the children you find them sucking the thumb, biting. Have you ever found an adult, biting those are children who never suckled, because there is a stage for every child, and a mother needs to be there, and a father needs to be there, so that peradventure, if you see your child picking something and taking it to the mouth, you can stop them. But if there is nobody, the child will continue thinking that is normal. That's right. And that's why now we have a challenge with the children who have a problem of talking too much. That's the personality of talking, introvert and extrovert and ambivert. Ambivert is a combination of extrovert and introvert. It starts from 1 day child to 1 year and a half. It's called the oral stage. The second stage is called the anal stage. The anal stage, this is the stage where it begins from now 18 months to 3 years. 18 months, that is 1 year and a half to 3 years. In this stage, this is where the mother and the father teaches the boy or the girl how to potty, to pee and to poop. In this stage, if the mother is harsh or the caregiver is harsh, this child develops to retain, and that child might end up being very stingy. That's where you know how to hold, and that's when you know how to release.
Oh, really?
Yes. If a child defiles, defiles this harsh treatment of potting, maybe she has a very harsh house girl or a mother. If the child defiles and poops everywhere, probably was brought up by Shoshu doesn't mind if the child poops anywhere. That child will become very reckless, very careless, keeps shoes everywhere. Have you ever seen people who keep things everywhere? It is because of that stage. Between what? 1.5 years to 3 years. It is called the the anal stage, where the child gets pleasure from peeing and poop. Then we have now the phallic stage, which begins from 3 years to 6 years. And that's why I'm telling you, I introduced my children sex when they were 4 years. Because at that stage, that's when the baby girl admires the penis of the father. And the baby girl admires the penis of the father.
How does that happen?
Yes, it is in the mind of the children. And the baby boy admires the vagina of the mother. And at this stage, you will find boys coming, when you are standing, they come and lift your dress, and it's like they are peeping, and the mother is wondering, kwani huyu mtoto anaangalia nini? No, it's a stage. Don't beat them.
Between what year and what year?
Between 3 years to 6 years, and they want to and they want to jump.
Boys, you think that they're naughty?
They're naughty. They're not naughty. It is a stage. It is a stage. And you find girls, when they want to be hugged by daddy, they want to come and step on daddy here. Una wanataka tu kurukaruka hapa, and you think they are just rukaruka. Kumbe they are admiring the penis of the dad.
Whoa.
Yes, for the girls is Electra. For the boys is Audio Pass. You get that, eh? And that's a stage.
How many
and
years?
In this stage now, that's the right place.
I need to know.
3 to 6 years.
Yeah.
3 to 6 years, the phallic stage. They admire their father. They admire their dad. And that's why now girls love their dad so much. They develop such a bond. Baba akifika anamtoa viatu, anamweke. That's when they bond. They bond. Yeah, you know the they bond. They want to take care of their dad. They want to make sure the shoes are removed. Daddy, can I bring for you water? Daddy, are you okay? Can I bring you food? They compete to serve the dad at that stage.
So it's a stage.
It's a stage. Okay. And the boys are so close to the moms. They love their moms so much. That's a stage. Then now we have the 6 years to 12 years, which we call the latent stage. In this stage, this is where now you teach the child character. This is where now they observe you so much than what you say. Children now learn by what they see. That's why we say manike see, manike do. Okay. You get that? This is where now you cultivate and cultivate character. You know, you tell them these are the norms of this family. We don't shout at one another. We don't abuse. We don't fight. That whatever you teach a child that side. Remember, at this stage is when they are now becoming also independent. They want to have their own room. They want to have their own space. They want to have their own clothes. The clothes. You teach them how to be responsible. Between what? 6 years to 12 years. That is the latent stage, and that's the learning stage. That's when they know how to dress, to clothe themselves. They know they don't want, you put them this, they say no.
My daughter is in that stage.
It's in that stage. They need a lot of guidance, and you need not to be harsh. Tell them, no, it's okay. If you don't prefer this, can you put this? Because our children have varieties of many clothes. It's not want to say, apana, nimesema hivi, ebu vaeni ya pink, misichezi na nyinyi. No. Allow them to be. Then now we have the 12, from 12 years up to teenage now, teenagers and childhood up to 18 years. This is when now they're in puberty and going to to adulthood. That's when now, if you had not cultivated, you know, that relationship of what Alex was saying, you train them what they need to do and what they don't need to do. You will lose them. They'll now, from there, you are not their hero. You are actually a hero from 3 years to 12 years. From 13 years, going onwards, they want to follow what is happening in the social media, their peers. You are no longer now their hero. So what now keeps them is the foundation that you laid as the mother and the father. What did you tell them? And so I agree with him. Oh yes.
Full class.
I tell you.
I feel like we should pay pastors tonight. I think we should pay you.
Yes, it's a very wonderful.
That is amazing.
Everybody can go on
Actually,
Google
it's good to know, because thinking about even our kids.
Yes.
Maybe you don't know the stage.
The stage.
But kumbe it has happened.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah. So I'll be reading some comments, but Alex, I want you to comment about something. So apart from the people who want to peleka watoto ushago, there are these ones who have kids, but they're too busy. They're not physically available. They're not emotionally available.
Yes.
You can have a dad sitting in the living room and doing something, and the kids are there, because that's also another kind of absent parents. What would you say about that? And it goes back to being ready to be a father, such that you know that job yangu inaanza like now for you 3 a.m. to this time. You always create time for them so that you're actually present.
Well, it's important. I would say I don't believe that there's anyone in this world who would be so busy to attend to their children. I don't believe that. You cannot have all of us have 24 hours.
Who hustle?
Yapana Betty.
Una hustle.
In 24 hours.
Economy ni ngumu.
It's not possible. It's not possible that out of the 24 hours, you don't have even 2 hours or 3 hours For your children.
For your children.
Apana, it's not impossible at all.
Yes.
I tell people when I used to work out at the gym, I used to tell people, I had a situation, I stopped. So I tell people, what do you mean that you do not even have 1 hour at the gym?
Yes.
Out of the 24 hours, how many hours do you have? I wake up at 3 in the morning, all right? At 4, I try and be at work. I have 4 hours at work. By 10, I'm leaving. I have a lot of hours.
Yes.
Are you getting?
When
you calculate the 24 hours, you'll remain like with 9 hours where you actually don't know what you normally do. You're either on social media, you're either dilly-dallying, you have a lot of hours. Everyone has friends, Nini, making calls and scrolling and stuff that do not really count. So family and especially kids are your number 1 priority.
I love that.
Mi priority yangu inakwendaga hivi. God, after God, family.
Yes.
After family, jobo, hustle. Are you getting it?
Yes,
so it must be God first, and then family, and then now jobo, hustle yangu.
Haiwezi kwa God, job, family.
God, family,
I also
job.
agree with you.
Because kila kitu I'm doing because of my family, I'm doing because of my kids. So lazima pia watoto kikuja kidogo na wauliza, like right now nimeambiwa kuna mmoja mathematics kidogo ina shida. You know, so nikirudi home na mwambia kale sio mathematics book. Where is your problem? Mimi mwenyewe hesabu pia inanipiga chenga. But namuonesha moral, naambia hii kitu naweza ba. You can do this thing. So I'm already talking to the teachers in school. Tunapigiana simu. Mwalimu amekubali sahi kwamba waanze kubakia shule at least 1 hour after class so they can be taught more mathematics. Lazima wewe katika life ya mtoi wako.
Hakuna excuse.
Hakuna excuse whatsoever. Hakuna excuse. Kama Mark Zuckerberg namuonaga na watoi wake all the time. Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest people in the world. The owner of he has time for his children. Na wewe uko hapa una hustle Nairobi unasema una time ya watoi wako. Hapana.
Okay. How does that affect somebody, kids when their parents are not there physically, emotionally?
I think one of the things that we need to agree, as Alex is saying, if you're not available for your children, something is gonna go wrong. In the sense that these children need that emotional well-being of the mother, the affirmation, the affection, correction also, rebuke, direction, guidance. A mother and a father must be present. And that's why a mother and a father must have the same language. Like there's no way atambia mtoto, what you have done is wrong. Na mimi nimwambie, kwa nini unamuuliza hivyo? When you start doing that, these children realize dad and mom are not the same. Even if the father is in the wrong, let me first of all keep quiet. Let the child first of all hear the command from the father. Then after he's gone, namwambia, when we are the two of us, I think what you told the child was not right because I explained, but not correcting him in the presence of the child, because that parenting skill is like the child doesn't know who to follow. You confuse the child. So number 1, emotionally they are so drained. It also creates a lot of anxiety because they don't know who they are. Somebody has just said on the TV, saying those who are being interviewed, that it gave because of not being raised by the parent, it gave him low self-esteem because it is the work of the parent to boost the esteem of the child. You can make it. You see the way he's saying that mathematics, you can make it. Even if he never made it, it must be now the child has to make it because he's a better version of you. That's what I believe. And so that emotional emptiness in a child can really result to a child having a problem with focus, concentration, character formation may have a challenge, feeling loneliness and self-esteem, self-doubt. They can also become a bit stubborn because they don't know what to do and what not to do. But when you affirm them, they are doing well, you are right, you are good, you are beautiful, you are handsome, and not just only the physical things. We need also to look at the inward beauty. What are the inward attributes of your daughter and your son? There are children who are very kind. There are children who are very loving. Those are inside attributes. There are children who are very good in listening. Those are the things that as a mother and a father, you need to identify that and tell your son, have you ever known that you are a very good listener? I love the way you listen and your body language. You see the way you are doing it? I just love you, sweetheart. You make someone talk and talk because of your body language. You see now, you encourage us to talk more. You interview us and we feel good. The same thing should be to your daughter and your son. Even when they are wrong, just direct them, be there for them, look at them eye to eye, affirm them, cheka kidogo, just look at them, tell them, I knew you always do the right thing the first time. That affirmation is very important. Emotional emotionally they will grow, having a lot of confidence, self-confidence that will make them face the world without fearing it.
I love
and
that.
so I love what Alex has said.
And
Oh, Alex, leo tuko pa. We are parents.
The other day I was just moving. Actually, this time I moved my kids from the school where they were to another new school. This time, you know, when I moved them there with my wife, we all went together and tukapelekwa hiyo shule around kila kitu. So we were meeting the teachers, you know. So each teacher, mwalimu wa Naya akakuja pale, akatuliza, so what am I supposed to know about Naya? What can you tell me about Naya?
Wow.
She was just amazed the way I'm just talking about my daughter. Alafu my wife was talking about my daughter. Hapo sasa imekuwa kama 2 weeks hivi. You know, she's here writing and she's like, you guys are, and explain exactly the way she is.
Oh, yeah?
Already in 2 weeks, I can
known.
tell it's exactly what you guys are saying.
Wow.
She's exactly what you're saying.
And it's for all the daughters.
It's for all of them. For Zemi, for Naya, for Tanya, all of them, they're like exactly, and I can say a lot about them. And mwalimu anasema exactly, by the way.
Yes,
it's true, by the way.
Yes.
It's
But you can only know that if you spend
time with them.
Yes.
So
Alex, you're a role model to so many men who are watching right now. Maybe somebody doesn't know where to start from. Maybe you now, maybe they've wamekusikia now wanasema, you know what, I hear what Alex is saying, I want to improve myself. How do they do that for the men who are watching and they've had a rough time?
You have to have role models that way mwenyewe pia. Even me, I have people and families I look up to, you know? People who come and visit me. They are good families. We are family friends. They come, we hang out, tunachoma nyama, tunatia story, tunaambiana vitu mbili tatu hapa, you know? So these are people I look up to. You must have people you look up to. A couple fulani, family fulani, una admire, unaongea nao, mna circle yenu kidogo ka small village. You know, kaka village kanasaidia sana. Like in our small village, watu tumesema watoi wetu, they must sleep early, you know? At 7:30 they must be asleep. So, and all our kids. Hata mimi usema ikifika time, kwa mfano, if Mwakideu is no longer here, my people who my village, they'll say they can even raise my kids because they know my ways and my ways are their ways. Watoi wake lazima walale by 7, lazima wamke at this time, watoi wake wanakula hivi, nyumbani kwetu there is no shouting hivyo. Then there's no calling names, nyumbani kwetu hakuna hivi, vitu zinajulikana tu. Lakini hizi vitu huwezi zifanya peke yako. Na huwezi zifanya kwa Google. Yes, you must have mentors and must have a small team of people where your kids can actually go during the day, play with the other kids. Mimi najua watu wangu wakienda kucheza kule kwa kina Njoro, hamna noma. Hamna noma kabisa. Wako safe. Sisi peleka kwa watu wengine. Kuna watu sisi wapeleka, lakini kuna mahali kwa familia kama 2. Wakienda pale wako sawa. Watakula pale, watacheza, TV station ikiwashwa ni TV fit, ni programs poa. Kila kitu ni poa. So wako safe katika hizi places.
I get it. Pastor, so tell me about mentors.
Mentors are very important. In fact, I keep talking about mentors every day because I'm a product of mentors. And I want to say that you cannot bring up your children by being a lone ranger, that you're just alone, you and your husband. You need also to learn from other people who have also succeeded in raising their children in a godly way with good character, because we only buy principles. Children are unique, but I can get principles from Alex that I can be able to implement in my family and get the same results that he has. And children are very easy to lead, because whatever you give a child is what they will be. And it's very hard for a child to actually even lie. They are very truthful. They are very truthful being. And so we need to be such role models in such a way that what we say is what we do, because they don't do what we say. They do so much what they see us doing. You get that? That's where their character is molded. And so as a mother and a father, you have to be very intentional about your words and your actions. For example, I see men carrying their sons and daughters to a bar. You can't do that. How do those things should never, and our generation is just messing up. Because when your daughter sees you drinking, and that's why you're finding so many girls are really drinking. Because most of them will tell you, I used to go to the bar and to drink with my dad, me ananitishia soda, alafu akiacha kidogo naweka. You see that? You see, or wengine wanabeba pombe wanakuja nayo kwa nyumba wanaweka kwa fridge. That is very wrong. Because what are you, would you want your daughter to be a drunkard? For you, you know you are an adult. So there are people who drink and they know their moderation. This child is thinking, I would drink like dad. Dad used to take 10 bottles. And so mimi lazima nimpite na 20 another. So you find children, there are things we should not expose our children to. Even if you drink, you are there, you are a father. Please don't do that in front of your son and your daughter. Some smoke. Unatuma mtoto kiberiti, unamwambia ende akanunue Sportman, akanunue what.
Oh, ya kutuma mtoto kwa shop.
Hiyo ni mbaya.
Sigara.
Because now, at the end of the day, you are telling them this is the way to go. And when a child sees that from the mother and the father, it's very hard to change that child. If my daughter finds me having men, let's say for example, I'm single, and men keep coming in my room every now and then, and it's a single room and he's hearing us having toa with every man, what am I telling that daughter? What am I telling that son?
Yes, yes.
I'm only telling them, you can fornicate and do adultery as you wish. After all, ni maisha ya.
Yes.
So there are things we, the adults, we should never do them in the front of the children. There is even a talk. I remember those days, Alex, you remember. Kuna wazazi wangeanza kuongea mambo zao, tunaambiwa tutoke.
Yes.
Tulikuwa tunaambiwa ondokeni. Because the parents don't want to, maybe they're talking about sex and they don't want to put that sex when we are very young.
Yes.
But you find people talking about someone, castigating someone very badly in the presence of the children.
Yes, yes.
And that has an emotional effect to the mind of a child.
Gotcha.
And so parents, we must be present, not present, absent.
Yes.
We must also be very careful what we do, what we say, how we, non-verbal communication, it speaks a lot, even more than your words.
Right.
And so I'm finding girls who are so much emotionally, let me talk about damaged, because they never had a father figure. I think the people who have been so absent are the men.
Sana.
Yeah, and I think Alex will agree with me. Wanatoka kazi, saa 3 wanaenda bar, wanakaa kwa bar mpaka 3 a.m. Mtoto ashalala, and then asubuhi wanaona wezi amsha dadi,
Yes.
amelala, amelewa, wanaenda shule tena, weekend anapotea from Friday, atakuja tena Monday.
Yes, yes.
I think the people who are so much, who have really, sorry to say this, and I'm sorry to say this, and I can, let me not even apologize,
Yes.
are the men. Men have really, at least women wamejaribu. Women have tried to be there for their children.
Yes.
But our men, they are so far from our children. And you see, kwanza bringing up a girl without a father. Bringing up a girl without a father and the way they love their dad.
It's
not
that's
easy.
one of the reasons why.
It's not easy.
That's one of the reasons why I stopped drinking.
Yeah, thank
Actually,
you.
one of the reasons why I
Say
stopped
it, Alex,
drinking.
loudly.
I told myself, I don't want my kids to grow up
Yes.
knowing that their dad drinks. You know that? So I told myself,
That's the reason uliacha kunywa.
one of the
I love
reasons.
that.
One of the reasons.
One of the
I
reasons.
Yes,
you,
because
sir.
I never saw my parents drinking.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes, I never saw them
Ulitoa
drink.
basi ulitoa wapi?
Maparo wangu walikuwa wakunywi.
Behavior ulitoa pia
No, hii behavior
streets.
nilitoka kwa brother zangu. Brother zangu walikuwa nakata maji. Mimi ni last born. Hao wanakata maji. Mimi nikasema, hii pia nakata maji. Lakini nikajiambia, hao watoi wangu hawatai kujua kama mimi niliwahi kukunywa.
Wow.
So watoi wangu by the time wana grow up, nilikuwa nishachapo.
Wow, I love that.
Hao wanajua tu
Congratulations, Alex.
niliacha kabisa.
Yeah, I know. I remember you posted on Instagram.
Yes.
It's been years, actually.
29, this is my 6th year.
What?
My 6th year
Wow.
sober.
Because of your children.
Because of why?
Because of my children. Because
Sacrifice.
on Saturday ukiamka na hangover, ile hangover proper ya Saturday, alafu mtu yeye anakuja pale akamwambia daddy uko tu zile sasa huyu naye anakuwa tafash, unaona, na ni mtoi wako. Na ni mtoi wako, lakini anakuwa tafash because you want to rest, unataka kunywa soda ile, unataka sugar, unataka supu watermelon, nini wife hebu leta supu kidogo, so mtoi utaki, unataka kwa balcony peke yako kule. Ulale kidogo. So it's a wasted day. You should have spent at least 2 hours, 3 hours with your kids, but now you cannot do
Thank
it.
you, sir.
It's a wasted day.
I like that. I like that.
Alafu unataka kutoa lock tena,
Tena
na ukitoa
jioni.
lock jioni unaiokota maluli ya chia jana.
Hiyo ni tena Sunday kuna
Sunday tena.
ile jioni.
Ile jioni baridi kidogo ya ku sundowner. Sundowner.
Kwa wiki.
Ya kufungua wiki. Oh my
Goodness.
No,
God.
hiyo
So that's one of
maisha.
the reasons you left.
What is my
Stop
stuff?
drinking.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Today.
Me, I just love fathers who are there
Yes.
for their children, to bring up their children and be. Let me tell you, I don't know what God has put in a man. I'm yet still to understand that is not in a woman. There is a grace. I don't know whether it's a grace or a presence that a father brings to the daughter and the son that a mother does not give. I don't know what is that presence. A present father emotionally brings up very powerful daughters, very powerful sons.
True.
When I listen to my son sometimes when he wants to drift away, and he tells me, Mom, for the sake of dad, I won't do this. Yani hata anikumbuki mimi niko
dad.
anikumbuki, and you know sons are on the side of their moms.
Yes.
But aniambia, Mom, for the sake of dad, hii siwezi fanya. Sijaiona dad akikushautia, sijaiona dad akihanya, sijaiona dad akikuchapa. For the sake of dad, hii sitafanya. Why is he not saying? And mimi niliwachapa. Mimi niliwachapa sana. Me, I was a disciplinarian. But and I remember the father. And so I want to talk to the men who are listening to us.
Yes.
If you know the impact you have to your daughter and your son, just spending 30 minutes with them, playing around with them, telling them stories about how you grew up, you know, telling them the challenges that you went through. It means 1,000 words, more than 1,000,000 words of a woman, more than the presence of a mother.
Exactly.
Mothers are good and we are always there for our children, but there is that blessing, the presence of a father in a home. I mean, it just brings order, and the children feel they are protected. The children feel that they have a shoulder to lean on, and they find now, once the girls feel they are attracted to the opposite sex. Now, me, I'm a woman. I'm always with my daughter. At least the father needs to be there, because I'm not bringing up a lele girl. Me, I want her to get married to a man. And so that presence of a father is very important. And women, we've been there, and unless a few women who have been away, just a few of them because of one or two things. But women, they have tried. But men, please pull up your socks. Your daughters needs you so much. Your sons needs you. It is true, we are the people who bring up our children. And can I say this before Alex speaks? Biblically, what I have seen, it is the spirit of the mother. The spirit of the mother means the character of the mother is the one that controls the children's behavior. But the blessing and the curse comes from the father.
Where? That's true?
Yeah. If a mother is bitter, if a mother has a spirit of bitterness, you bring up bitter children. If a mother is a happy mother, you bring up happy children. So the spirit of the mother is what controls the children in their day-to-day life. But the curse and the blessing is with the father. So if this father is not present to guide these children, then it means the curse will follow these children. If the father is present in the lives of these children, that means his blessings will follow these children. Our father is a very paramount person.
Mwakideu, tusimame ukitumpatia the last comment.
Kwani tumemaliza?
Imagine.
My goodness.
Very simple.
Angalia kamera.
You raise your kids in a way that you're sure by the time they give you grandchildren, you will be able to spoil the grandchildren. You are the person who is supposed to spoil, or your grandparent and spoil grandchildren. You know kazi yake. But then you cannot spoil them kama you didn't raise your children nicely. Because when you spoil them like your grandchildren, you know that when they go back home to your daughters now and your sons, uko discipline inatembea uko, so you're free to spoil them. So you can't raise at your grandchildren the way you raised your children.
I get
now raise alafu grandchildren unwa spoil.
Last message to the men, because ni kama men do.
Last message to the men. You have to create time. For the men, they must create time. They must create time for their children. It's important. It's paramount. You cannot. God, family, hustle. In that order. It's as simple as
God, family, and hustle.
I
want to say this. There are two things you cannot delegate in this world. Number one is twatwa.
Yes.
You can't delegate your wife to another man to do twatwa and your husband.
That is true.
So that's something that you must personally do. Number two, you cannot delegate parenting. You can't delegate parenting. There is the reason of God why you brought up that daughter and that son. Bring them in the way that you would want them to be. Are your children a reflection of you, or are they a reflection of the society and other people? And so please, we have to make sure that the things that we cannot delegate, we do them diligently, and we make sure that we do them. And one of them is parenting, and that's what we are talking about. You cannot afford to be an absent mother and father in this generation. When there is a lot of influence from the social media, our children are watching porn, they are watching lesbianism and all these things and gay sites. You have to be there to guide them with this internet. If you don't, asiyefunzwa na mamake hufunzwa na ulimwengu. Na ulimwengu hauna huruma. So be careful, be there for your son, be there for your daughter.
Amen to
my
that.
Number, can I give my number, sweetheart?
Yes, come on.
My number, if you have any challenge with your daughter or your son, you need counseling in any way, you can call this number 0712 265 746. And I want to say my parting shot.
Yes.
Some of us who are absent is because some of you are delaying in the bar because you're not able to perform twatwa. If you're there and you have an ED erectile dysfunction, umenyonga manke, joystick ameisha, hauna mood, please call that number and I'm gonna help you. Apart from being a pastor, I'm also in the medical field for the last almost 30 years. That is my first profession before I became a pastor.
Yes.
So we have a medical center at Kasarani. When you come there, we will deal with those erectile dysfunction, low libido, side effects of masturbation, and it's private and confidential. 0712 265 746. God bless you.
God bless you guys. Thank you
See
for
you.
watching.
What's up?
What's up? Say what?
Say what?
Thank you guys.
Ulianza na WhatsApp.